gentlemen. I was live with my camera and something happened. I'm going to figure that out later, but I needed to, share this message. So we're going to go right from the bottom, right from the beginning, and I'm going to share everything that I was meant to share. And this video is for that woman who, if you've ever been fine in one moment and then spiral because something happened, because maybe somebody took too long, maybe the guy that you're with glanced at the other side and changed their tone or made plans without you, this life is for you. Because anxiety isn't random. It's actually screaming for you, for your attention, to figure out what it is that is it's like the pattern, like to figure out the pattern that's you've been recreating the entire time. So this pattern is something that your nervous system learned. Okay, I'm going to break down exactly where it comes from and what actually calms it. Okay, let me know where you're tuning in from. Sadly, I was already in, it was a couple of minutes, but my camera seemed to shut down, and but I'm back and I needed to share this message because I've been that woman. I've been that woman who didn't know any better, that would get so jealous, who would constantly compare herself to other women. However, I was only like this when I was in a in a relationship, in a loving relationship. If I was alone, I was a completely different person. I was just like, why am I all of a sudden jealous? Like I've never been the jealous type. I've never been the type of woman who compares herself to other people. I know that everyone has like certain beauty type, certain beauty standards, certain certain exotic stuff. But the thing is that I completely changed, I completely shifted whenever I was in a partnership, whenever I was in a relationship. So this is for that woman who doesn't like who feels overwhelmed in relationships. It's for you. It's for that woman who doesn't know any better. Like she gets triggers and she doesn't know how to handle them, because at the end of the day, if you're not able to handle your emotions, how are you going to communicate this to your partner? You're probably going to lash out. You're probably going to be like lashing out, angry, and the guy and the man that you're with is not going to have it. If he is a conscious, successful, I don't even want to add successful. If he is a conscious guy, he's not going to accept your tantrums. Okay. I don't want to call it tantrums, but essentially, we're basically not knowing how to handle this. It's like a baby crying out for attention. And maybe it was because in the past you didn't get that attention from your parents or in your childhood. Anyway, stay here because I'm going to go deep into the triggers, into maybe you keep overthinking about why that guy doesn't reply, or maybe why he makes plans. Maybe you're with your husband, he makes plans without you and it hurts. And it goes way beyond understanding that he's a whole person, because if you don't heal what you feel right now, it's going to play out maybe with your children. It's going to play out and come up maybe with your friends. So just because you don't actively heal this stuff that's showing up in your partnership, essentially at one point or the other, it's going to show up. Hi, welcome in. Let me know where you're writing from. Thank you for your compliments. This This video is exclusively for women, and um, yeah, welcome in. Okay, let me know if you are going through something in your life that is really giving you anxiety. I'm not Ronaldo's wife. So why does this triggers happen? Actually, it's because our minds start writing stories to fill in uncertainty. So instead of saying, "Oh, he made plans without me," okay, okay, that's fine. He can go out with his friends, with his acquaintances, with his family. Instead of you accepting that for him, for your partner, your mind starts rewriting and feeling uncertainty. Your mind does not like uncertainty. So when you have something and stings, you are going to recreate a feeling, an emotion that has been happening for you. 6767. Just kidding. Um, Hi, welcome in. Damontes says, "My son chooses not to be in my life. Can you explain a little bit more? Because I feel like parents, I say this in the most loving way. Sometimes our opinions are hard on our children. Even though I don't have children right now, I used to feel this with my mother. I felt like every opinion she gave me, I felt very judged. So I've been able to communicate this because I'm a grown woman and I love my mother to death. And I love having a relationship with her. However, this was not the case for my entire life. I wasn't really able to speak to her because she's a very strong, opinionated woman. So I question, why does your son choose not to be in your life? Like, is it because something that you've done, or maybe something that he thinks? It's really important to really understand where this person is trying to come from. um if I didn't, study what I've studied, the psychology, our emotions, and like how our brain works, and why I'm feeling like this resent towards my mother, I mean, not anymore. But the people that we have closest to us are going to trigger us, and this is the way is supposed to work. Like, you're not meant to isolate yourself. However, it's important and essential. Like, for me, it was essential and important, and I understand how it may be hard for other people. Anyway, if you want to share, I would love to know. I'm actually engaged, so. Sasu says, "Yeah, my mom hates me. She loves me, but some of the stuff I've done over the years, she would love to punch me in the face, but she stays calm. I'm sorry you have to go through that. Um, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry that you have to go through that." Um, Irv says, "You can speak from a parent's perspective, just like a man can't speak for a woman can't speak for a man." I think with my knowledge and with understanding how emotions work, and being a daughter, and me like being able to construct the relationship that I have, I think I am able to speak on that relationship. I think I am able because we have such a loving relationship that I never thought would be possible. So, yeah. Thank you for your opinion. I would love to know. I love listening to what people have to say. So, okay, Damontes Blue said he grew up with his mother family, and they choose not to allow me to be in his life. He's a mixed child. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're going through that. Um, if she doesn't have full custody of the child, she cannot prohibit you from seeing your own son. So as I'm a child of divorced parents, so and I've always been communicative with them. So I think, and even though at some times in my life I was with one parent, and at another point of my life I was with the other parent, like with my mom and then my dad and then my mom and then my dad. um, it was so and extremely important. I remember my dad telling me that his psychologist told him that the most important thing that a child needs to hear is that you still love him. Like, no matter what happens, you're going to be there for him. Like, and it happens in family, sadly. Um, for the stuff maybe that you did with your ex wife or partner, she might be speaking badly about you. However, this shouldn't matter from you taking action on wanting to see your son. Okay. Anyway, let's continue with the subject because it's very very important to like actually learn how to control these emotions and like how to stop overthinking about what he is doing. Like if he is not answering to your messages, if he is making plans without you and you're actually getting this feeling of rejection, if this um or you're sensing him having a tone shift, and then you'll be like, hey, why are you giving me attitude? And maybe it's just in your mind. um you have to really notice what keeps on repeating in your relationship, because sometimes it might be our mind tricking us, or sometimes it might actually be the partner. um so so being inconsistent is actually a emotional safety. Okay, let me just answer to the Montes. Okay, so if he's 30 years old, maybe he has the abandonment wound. I'm just being called to share, like, answer you. We were teenage. He says we were teenagers then, and but now he's 32 years old. So, um, especially now that he's an adult, he might have, you know, um, unhealed parts of himself, and he may understand you now. Like if you were to, show like try to make a connection with him, um he will understand you logically, and it will have to like for you to connect with him now in a different level than before. He has to understand your side of the story. Like he has to understand that you weren't just his dad. He has to understand that you are a person who makes mistakes just like any human being, and that hopefully you're sorry that you weren't present or whatever it is that you did. But I'm not saying that it might be a loving relationship now because he's older, but but yeah, I think it has to do with more on what you want, because we always have the answer within ourselves. We just don't want to admit it or face it because we fear that what that action may cause us, like rejection. All right. Um, let's continue. Yeah. So let's explain the root on like why women get mad or get angry if the partner that she's with chooses to glance at the other person. And this is because we are unconsciously comparing ourselves. Let that sink in. I have more water. When I talk a lot, I'm just anyway. So you do not know that this is happening. When you get like, and I've been there where I've been like, I felt this strange feeling almost blocking me to feel, almost blocking me to walk. And the feeling was emerging because I felt all of a sudden resentment for the other woman that he was glancing at. This happened very early in the relationship. So, and it had nothing to do with my partner. I'm engaged. I always mention this. It had to do with what story was playing out in my subconscious mind. Like, it was so bad that I didn't even want to go out. Like, even though I was dressed up so nice, so good, if another beautiful woman came and walked right by us, I would just be like something inside of me stopped. Like something inside of me was just like, you're not good enough. And we women are carrying so much insecurities. If we don't realize that we're carrying these insecurities, they're going to continue to happen. And if you are not aware, you're probably blaming the partner that you're with, instead of looking within, instead of trying to heal the drama, instead of trying to fix the emotion and trying to like just baby the little girl that you have inside of you that didn't get that attention. Instead of continuing replaying the same story over and over, what happened if we just stopped? What would happen if you just became aware of the feeling and you felt it, instead of lashing out to the partner that you're with, instead of screaming at him, or instead of telling him, "Hey, stop looking there." What would happen if you just be like, "Babe, 1 second, I have to go to the bathroom." You tune in with yourself and actually do the work and ask yourself, why are you feeling this way? Let me know if you're a woman, if this is resonating with you. Because I would love to know. I would love to know because if I'm being called to share this, it's because somebody out there has to hear this. And if I healed and if I became a better version of myself, you can too. Like no matter where you are in your life, you can make something different for yourself. You can make a change and become a better person. I'm going to finish writing the thoughts. Sorry, the chat's going fast, and then I'll check in the questions. Okay. And to finish the thought, what would happen if you actually became aware, and then you looked inwards? I'm actually hosting a masterclass on the art of becoming. And I'm so happy to be doing this because I've been working on the art of becoming, on identity, on how to actually release these emotions that's stopping us. And before going, like, I always say this, but like, what does that mean? Like, actually getting the life that you desire. This art of becoming, um, actually started when my heart desired the divine union, the divine aligned soul relationship that I'm in right now. It started when I desired something for myself. I wanted a better life and a job that was soul aligned, if that makes sense. I would love to join me before I continue going into the practice, the reframe. If you're interested, go onto the description box and there is a link that says join the masterclass. Put on your email and then you'll receive an email June 30th in 15 days. Super excited. Um, but yeah, what is the goal? What is the goal of this transformation moment? The goal is not to stop feeling anxious. The goal is to actually stop abandoning yourself when anxiety shows up. Let me repeat that. The goal is to actually look inwards. The goal is actually to ask yourself why you're feeling this anxiety. Please write on the questions, write on the comments what triggers you the most. Do you tend to overthink, shut down? Jean Powell says, "You trigger me." uh, okay. Yeah. Thank you for your comments. Um, um, yeah. God bless you, Sierra. All right, I'm gonna go over the comments to see if you would like to share your triggers or if you're just wanting to share whatever it is that you want. I'd love to know. Thank you for your compliments. Um, yeah. Jacko says, if you want to make a world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. That is beautiful. You know why? Because I had the same thought when I was younger. Oh my God, I'm gonna be emotional. Um, okay. Actually, when I was starting my swimwear brand, I had a swimwear brand before I started doing transformation work. Um, I was seeing my professor in school, and he told me, "What do you want? What do you want to do in your life?" And I was like, "I want to make a world. Like, I want to make a change in the world." And he was like, "But if you cannot change yourself, how can you change the world?" And that deeply resonated with me. And like such a long time, I went to fashion school, but then I've studied so much about psychology and emotions and like how to everything that I'm sharing. um, Earville Secret says, "I think we should definitely look more inwards more often. I think we are quick to blame others." And that is the case because we're all living um, in automatic pilot. Like there is so many distractions right now in the world happening, like with social media. And like there is a reason why the system is like this. Because once you start looking inwards, once you start unlocking your best version, like you almost become unstoppable. You almost become source led. You have like the higher power guiding you. There's a reason why the system is like this. There's a reason why we have bingeable content. And the more we scroll, the more we get into this brain rot type thing. I'm a part, like also um consume media. I'm not saying that's bad. However, a balance is always good. Google's sake says, "Can you answer my question?" I don't see the question. Okay, wait. Manifestation. This is interesting because I like your username and I'm surprised that you're saying this. Manifestation 9462 says, "I have a better one. Just don't identify with the emotion." What okay, this is what I do not like because manifestation work, I mean, we're constantly manifesting no matter you believe it or you if you believe it or you don't, you are constantly manifesting. Your life is an entire manifestation of your thoughts, of your emotions, of your frequency. However, if you don't identify with the emotion, and if you follow what this guy or this woman is saying, not to bash you or anything, but you're going to continue having that emotion. Like you're not going to raise your frequency. You're going to continue being stuck in that frequency. You're bypassing the entire your entire identity. You might get like sick or attract stuff that's not aligned. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to get, to get mad, but I don't agree. Like, don't bypass your emotions. Essentially, if you bypass them, then it's gonna like you're going to have all of these emotions stuck in you, and then you're going to become numb. Being numb, being numb or stuck is so, I don't want to say bad, but it's not the goal. The goal is to live a fulfilling life, to make those dreams come true. Shiksa, Shiksa Isra Q70 says, Oh, sorry, that was for another person, I think. Um, so this username is saying all powerful Crivel. He or she says, y'all don't realize you're always comparing. Even women who grew up healthy inevitably do it. And I'm saying look at it in a different way. If you're comparing yourself, just say, wow, she's so beautiful. Like, but she is her beauty and I am my beauty. Like it's not like when you're comparing yourself, it's like that person is taking something away from you. That's not a reality for me. Like that's not a reality. For example, when I'm with my partner, and as I mentioned before, I had this comparison issue, and it was only when I was with my partner. So the threat was more of like me believing that I wasn't enough, but also that he was going to leave me for her. But then I was dismissing and like not remembering the connection that we had, that he chose me, that he asked me to be his his. So the question would be, are you willing to look at it differently? Are you willing to accept another woman's beauty? Another woman's intelligence, another woman's success. Like, why does it have to be a comparison? What is she taking away from me? Like, it's more the way that I see it now, it's more thank you, higher power. Thank you, source, for showing me what's available for me. Thank you. Okay, I think I've. Anyway, if there are any questions for the ladies that feel seen me sharing this, I would love to answer. I would love to, explain more about this issue because I've been there. And that insecurity, that anxiety is telling you to be more gentle instead of blaming the other person. Okay, and if you're being called, I would love to invite you to the Art of Becoming Masterclass that we're hosting in 15 days. I'm so excited to have it because we'll talk about how to finally level up, how to finally become the best version of yourself, how to finally stop getting triggered and actually be calm. Like, oh, he's doing something, or oh, this is not really resonating, or I don't know, this is triggering me. Stop letting the situation control you. Stop letting the situation control you. Stop letting other people control you. Like you have control of yourself. That was so powerful. Like another I've been in this situation too, where family members throw shade, or like when people, even random people, throw shade, and you just stay calm and you just smile. Like you cannot hurt me with your comment. Like how powerful is that? Like continue, please. Continue watching. Do you realize how powerful that is? Anyway, if you're being called, I would love to have you, all of my ladies out there. Um, yeah, to stop overthinking, to actually make this shit come through. Okay? Um, Let me know if this resonates. And I love you guys so much. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay? Bye.